are back with another episode of Milton Daily Homes. So we have 11 listings coming off the weekend. So anything from Friday until now is in the list. So a couple unique ones. One for $8.5 million, believe it or not. So we'll talk about what we think you need to know. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out at 905-693-9346 or just respond back to the email we send out. We have a buyer class coming up on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. All the information, Sharon, if you want to put it down below, is miltonbuyerclass.com. Let's get started with the list. Now, this one on Thompson Road is $599. It has the potential definitely to sell for more than that. 1864 square feet. Mattamy home. It's on Thompson. So the interesting thing about Thompson is that you have Thompson Road, and then you have these little cutout, little sort of half circle streets that come off of Thompson. So right outside of this house is safe for kids to play. They can ride their bikes. There's hardly any traffic at all. Now the problem is that you can't park a car outside. So if you had guests that wanted to park on the curb right here, you could not do it. It's not allowed. It's considered a fire route. So your guests have to park if they don't fit in the driveway. And this driveway is longer, which is good. But if that driveway is full, they have to go all the way around the corner to one of the side streets and then walk around, or risk getting a ticket. So you've got living dining here. And so nice pot lights around a coffered ceiling with the crown moldings. And then you've got a family room plus, I don't know if those are power shots right there. Family room with the kitchen open concept. And that island is actually movable. So some people leave it like this. Other people turn it so it faces the family room. It's up to you, whatever you think is best. It's been very well kept. And like I said, the longer driveway looks pretty good too. So I think the first number is going to be a 6 when they take offers at the really strange and awkward time of Saturday night at 8 p.m. In my books, you take offers during the week, sometime between probably 6:30 and 8:30. That is the time in my mind that's the best to take offers. So 693 Ferguson is at 699.9, which for the 2,000 square feet plus the large premium lot, even though as we discussed last week, we don't always get the huge premiums for lots that we do on a detached home when you're selling a semi or a townhouse. However, now I'll let you go through the pictures. Not my favorite floor plan. It feels really long and narrow to me, and like you kind of walk through the middle of this room, which divides it. It makes it sort of not as functional. So, but the size itself is not bad. Here's my problem with the house. And so you see upstairs 4 bedrooms. There's laundry upstairs, big yard. I would never, ever, ever live in this house. And I live in this neighborhood. So this road, Ferguson here, goes all the way up. And then you have a, hold on one sec. You have a little curve here, and then right at the end here, basically straight shot. It's hard to show with the curve and the way the map is. You have this home. I would be putting a concrete barrier here, because if you have someone who speeds or goes a little too fast or hits some ice, you have a car right through your front door. And to me, nothing is worth that. To me, that's a really, really tough spot. I think about it constantly when I drive on Ferguson, that there's probably like 4 to 6 homes here that I would never, ever, ever buy because of a safety concern. So I'll let you have a look at the pictures. We may go through them quick, but this one on McGibbon, it says 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. I do not know the exact size of this home, but what it does have is some decent finishes, not sort of blow your mind finishes, but I think you could work with it. 9-foot ceilings is obviously a big thing. Lots of pot lights. I don't know if I love that many pot lights in a home, but you have a coffered ceiling there. You also have the walkout with the green space, which is not the easiest thing to find in Milton. So the basic home for the size of it and the finishes probably starts with the first number 9, and then you're looking at the value of the green space plus the walkout. I believe they are holding back on offers on this one, and it would really just depend to me on how far up into the close to 3,000 square feet it is. And there's also some creative spelling in the description. That's always good for a laugh. So this one on Stringer's kind of interesting because at first glance looks like a corner property, but what you'll notice when you're there, and I'm not sure if it's in the photos because it's not the best photo gallery, but you actually don't have a real backyard. You have a detached garage, which eliminates that L shape around the garage that most homes have. So you have a nice square floor plan inside the home. It's actually very, very nice. But you don't have a backyard. You have a courtyard here that's probably no more than, I would say 20 by 20 or 25 by 25. So no real backyard on this one. But that's why you get this kind of layout. Living, dining. The kitchen is very open. That's your backyard. So they put a deck here. So you don't really have any grassed yard beyond just obviously the front yard. And then you've got, your 4 bedrooms upstairs. I don't believe there's space above the garage, but they do build it like that. Plus you have a finished basement. So these are tricky to value because they don't come along very often. And how do you sort of play off the fact that it doesn't have a backyard? What we have seen in the past, so this is about 2,800 square feet. We see that these homes, even with the lack of a backyard, because the layout and some of the things actually get a little bit better, it tends to float it around the same price range. So same as the previous one, $999 might be a little bit ambitious. This one has the finished basement, which may replace some of the value for green space and walkout. But to me personally, I think this one may be aiming a little bit high. The thing about 2017 is that it's a whole other year, which means sometimes we just find records just up and up and up. And there's always a few homes in January and February that tend to sell for more than you'd ever expect given 2016 pricing. So this one on 14th Side Road is a really, really nice location, very close to town. Appleby and Steele's, that kind of thing. 14th Side Road essentially becomes Main Street. And so 2.7 for 39 acres. Problem with it is that, and there's a small house, but if you're going to buy this property, do you need 39 acres? It's tough. Right? It's all escarpment protected too. There's the escarpment right there. What do you do, right? So it's like the first acre is by far the most valuable, then the second acre worth less and less and less. So you end up paying for acreage that may not in use be that valuable. And then you compare that to something like this on 25th Side Road where you have a working business on 56 acres where the lavender is grown. I have no idea the business model. If you want to know about the income and expenses for this property, you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement so that you can review some of the books here. But this home's $59.90, 6,000 square feet. So the price per square foot to build, you'd add that up, you'd add the cost of the land, you'd add the cost of there. It looks like there's some outbuildings, which typically you're not even getting what they're worth. So this one's a tough, I looked at it, I thought, boy, it'd be a tough stretch for this one, but I don't know how much lavender sells for. Maybe it's so valuable. It's like having fields of gold. That's kind of cool with the horses. I don't even know how. This is almost like a commercial deal. This is something where it's not like buying a house. You're now starting to buy business. There may be tax implications here. It's a very specialized field to buy a property like this. And even having it in the residential space, it's not really residential fully. It's not really commercial. So it's kind of a hybrid between those two. And then we have one more from the Oakville-Milton Real Estate Board. So I'll put the link down below. It won't be in the green button link. It'll be in a link in the paragraph below. But you have 665 square feet. You have 2 parking spots, which is pretty rare. It says the parking spot is valued over $15,000. To me, that seems ambitious. I would put a little closer to 10 to 12. But again, 2017, maybe we can argue it. So, the unit itself looks like there's not a lot of space in the family room to actually put a couch and a TV and everything else, similar to some other units in this building. But beyond that, This is pretty much starting place for a condo these days in Milton. Can you find cheaper condos elsewhere? Even in Mississauga, it can be cheaper to buy a condo because we only have 8, 9, 10 buildings in Milton or developments, whereas in Mississauga you might have 200 different buildings there. So completely different markets, and the fact that we don't have many condos in Milton, relatively speaking, causes a little bit of a premium and an uptick in price compared to similar areas. Same thing happens in Oakville too. So there we are, that's the list, and don't forget to sign up for the Milton Buyer class. There's no cost to attend. We'll give you a book to take home, and it is some of the best information you can find out there anywhere about buying a home, not just in Milton, but first-time buyers. We've had people that have bought 10 homes in their life that come and say, I wish someone had told me this stuff through purchases 1 to 10. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.